Context.
Did you know that the book of Jeremiah is the longest book in the entire Bible? I'm not talking about the English language here, but the original language. Here are the top 3 longest books in the Bible, by the way. Many don't know that, but many do know this. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. I would say it's probably the second most misapplied, out of context verse in the whole Bible. Right after Philippians 4:13, which I do also have a video on, by the way. Perhaps you want to check it out when you finish with this one. Link is below in the description box. Back to Jeremiah 29:11, which you not only see all over the social medias out there, but people also wear it on their clothing or on their actual skin. But here's the thing, Bible chapters and verses that we have in our Bibles today is a 500 plus years old modern invention for navigation purposes. Originally, there are no such thing as a Bible verse. There are, however, books and letters and context. Many skeptics will take a Bible verse out of context to attack Christianity. And many prosperity preachers and Christians will take a Bible verse out of context and use it as an individual, feel-good fortune cookie. Like declare and decree this one verse from Jeremiah 29:11 of future and hope and good things for one's personal life today in 2021. Like for example before a school exam or starting a new job. 309 million Christians are facing high levels of persecution in 2021. 13 Christians are killed on an average day because of their faith. Can they too declare and decree this one verse given to ancient Israel thousands of years ago and apply it to their own individual life and situation in 2021? I would like to encourage those people who are using this verse as a 2021 fortune cookie to be consistent. Have they read the surrounding verses and chapters of Jeremiah 29:11 about God's anger and judging of Israel for their horrible sins? You don't see those verses on a t-shirt, coffee mug or tattoo. When reading for example Jeremiah 29:11, ask yourself, what's the situation and context here? What type of literature is this? Who's the object here? And is it prescriptive or descriptive? The you in this verse, as so very often in the Old Testament, and you will see it for yourself by reading the surrounding verses, is referring to you, O Israel. Not you, O Jane Smith, or you, O John Smith in the 21st century. Jeremiah 29:11 was written for us, but not to us. Who's the object here? And is it prescriptive or descriptive? It's a verse to a group of people in Babylonian exile under King Nebuchadnezzar around 2600 years ago, given by prophet Jeremiah from God. One does not have to read that much surrounding that verse to get the context and situation here. God did amazing works and wonders for his chosen people that he brought out of slavery in Egypt into the land he promised them. But as the end of chapter 32 for example summarizes so well, and I will paraphrase it, you can go and read this for yourself after. So, generations after generations after generations, after all the works and wonders by God for ancient Israel, again and again, the people still kept rebelling and in modern terms flipping God the finger and indulged themselves in the worst kinds of sins, like burning their children in sacrifice to Moloch, a false bronze god. God spoke through Jeremiah that for these wicked deeds, for such a long time, he would allow Israel to go under the yoke and iron fist of the king of Babylon for 70 years. Now in all of this, there were false prophets and prosperity preachers around. Yes, surprise, surprise, they were around also thousands of years ago. One in particular, Hananiah, who was preaching a very different message than the prophecy God had given Jeremiah. Jeremiah 29:11 is a word from the Lord and a short snippet from a letter to all the people King Nebuchadnezzar had carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. The passage in focus is a reminder that the word of the Lord hasn't changed. There will be 70 years of being under the yoke and iron hand of Babylon. So the Lord is basically telling through prophet Jeremiah that the people in exile need to stop listening to ear-tickling preachers and prophets. They need to do what our people and our nation need to do for surviving and progress. Start building houses, plant gardens, get married, have children, and settle down. Makes sense. God keeps his words, and 70 years is a long time to wait. But God will, after these 70 years, restore them again, because he loves his people. There is consequences for all the evil they did for so long, and a time for discipline and sanctification. But this whole exile thing is a plan for their ultimate well-being, and not for evil, because for his people, God has a future and a hope.